My lords, it is a huge honour and privilege to be amongst you. Thank you, my noble lords, for the warm welcome across the benches, whether you found me wandering the corridors or have found me sat next to you. And thank you for the warm welcome that I've received today. I want to particularly thank Lord Judge and Baroness Watkins and the many members of staff who have helped supported me in so many different ways. I also appreciate the words of wisdom and advice that have been offered to me so far. I am listening and I am learning. Thank you. But let me introduce myself to my noble lords who do not know me. I am the CEO and one of the founding members of Muslim Women's Network UK, a national charity based in Birmingham. We operate a national helpline and counselling service. We conduct research, most recently on maternity experiences, and conduct awareness-raising campaigns. We also have a national membership. The late Baroness Afshar was also one of the founding members of Muslim Women's Network UK. And I was really excited to tell her that I was going to be following in her footsteps and joining her on the crossbenches. But I did not get to share my good news with her because just a few days before the public announcement of my appointment, she sadly passed away. However, I will be continuing her fight for gender justice and women's equality. As a women's rights campaigner, I also work with many women's organisations on many different issues. So I will be concentrating on women's lived experiences, whether it's of the criminal justice system, of the education system, of the health service or in employment. I will also be focusing on the economic impact on women of laws and policies. I will do all I can to advance the rights of all women and girls and advocate for a fairer society. However, society will only be fairer if more money goes into the pockets of women, because money is power, the power to increase life chances. However, over the last decade or so, we have consistently seen more money and hence more power go into the pockets of predominantly wealthy men, and in real terms, money being taken out of the pockets of the poor, especially women. According to analysis by the Women's Budget Group, the spending cuts on public services and freezes to social security over the last 10 years or so have hit women the hardest because they are most likely to use public services, they are most likely to work in the public sector and most likely to depend on social security for a bigger portion of their income. Public spending may have gone up briefly during the pandemic, but a return to the pattern of cutting public spending while cutting taxes will continue to benefit men, because women earn less and most likely to work part-time. Research by the Women's Budget Group, along with the Runnymede Trust, shows that cutting spending and taxes at the same time hits women in every income group harder than men. It hits poorest the hardest and hits minority ethnic women, disabled women and lone parents hardest of all. That means women will struggle to pay for food, struggle to pay for energy bills, struggle to pay for rent, struggle to pay for mortgages. Children will go to bed and go to school hungry. Children will be cold. And because children can't keep warm, they'll get sick. Families will become homeless. If that situation isn't bad enough, part-time workers have been told that if they do not increase their hours, their benefits will be cut. But women work part-time because they have caring responsibilities. They are looking after children, the sick, the disabled, the elderly. So, my lords, women are not sitting idly by. They are working, but they are doing unpaid work, which is not being valued. So, if we want to see a fairer society, budgets must reduce inequalities. Budgets must not exacerbate inequalities. I look forward to one day, and hopefully not too long distant in the future, to see an intersectional and feminist approach to the budget. The empowerment of women will be crucial if Britain is to recover from the current economic challenges. I will therefore be returning to these issues again and again. I know there are many allies in the House, and therefore I look forward to working with many of my noble lords across the benches on many different issues, including the ones that I've mentioned today. Thank you.
My Lords, it's an enormous pleasure to welcome the noble Baroness Lady Gohir to the House and congratulate her on that outstanding maiden speech. It was full of fire and full of passion and full of many issues that many of us will be happy to follow her on in days to come. She is obviously a formidable campaigner.